Good morning! Welcome to another 24-hour readathon. Today is a Friday, and so I have the next 3 days off, and it's August 1st. So what a way to start off the month by getting some books checked off of the TBR. So similarly to last time I did a 24-hour readathon, I'm going to read for 8 hours over the next 3 days because I still have quite a bit of stuff around the house that I need to do, and not all of those things I can listen to an audiobook during. So I have to edit a YouTube video, I have to record another YouTube video and try to start editing that one. I've got to pressure wash my back porch, which I can listen to a book while I'm doing that because it's going to be pretty monotonous. And if I have time, I need to pressure wash my driveway, at least part of it, and I've got a lot of other stuff around the house to do. So let's talk about the book that I'm reading right now. So currently I am almost halfway through A Light in the Flame, which is the second book in the Flesh and Fire series. And y'all, I am loving this so much. So much. I love Niktos. I love Nectis. I love little Jadis. And I obviously love Reaver. I love this book so much. And I am on page 281 out of 300. So almost halfway. So this will be the first book that I'm going to pick up. The theme for this 24-hour readathon is reading books in series. So this is the second book in the Flesh and Fire series, and that's the book I'm going to start with since I'm halfway through. And then I have a couple books on my August TBR that are part of series. So let me pull up my TBR. For August, I've got False Start, which is the third book in the Gold Rush Ranch series. And then I've also got Untamed by S.E. Stevens, which is the fifth book. Yeah, the fifth book in the Thoughtless series. And then I've obviously got more from Blood and Ash books, but we probably won't get to any more of those in this video. And then for audiobooks, I have Inheritance, which is the fourth book in the Inheritance cycle by Christopher Paolini. And then I'm also, spoiler alert for my July reading wrap up, but I did not finish Outlander, and so I have the audiobook for that too. And it's about to expire soon, so I will probably just start listening to Inheritance and then check out Outlander the next time it's available, because I'm probably like 60 or 70% through. That book is really long. I've read like 800 or 900 pages of it so far, and that's reading some of it on my Kindle and listening to some of the audiobook. I've been going back and forth just to try to get as much reading time in that book as possible, and I'm still only like average 65% of the way through. And I've read like 800 or 900 pages. I just feel like I'm never gonna finish it. But it's so good. I love it. I love the Outlander series. So I will check back in with you once I'm a little bit more through this book. Like, what can I tell you? It's the second book in the series. That's not gonna give too much away. In book one, Niktos and Serafina, they have a common enemy. And so in this book, they're trying to figure out how to take out that common enemy. It does say on the back of the book, but it's the second book in the series. They are trying to take out that person. It's difficult because that person is in charge of a lot of things and can easily kill them with basically no reprisal. Well, not them, kill Sarah with no reprisal. Because Nyktos is the primal of death, so you can't just kill him because there needs to be a primal of death. But we're getting to know more of the characters in here. There's a lot of fight scenes. So I'm almost halfway through the book, and there have been, I don't know, like 2 or 3 fight scenes. And then a lot more, after the thing that happened in book 1, there are a lot more scenes of Nyktos and Sarah together in here, which is nice because I'm happy that they're working things out. Okay, so I'll check back in with you once I'm a little bit further in the book. Coming in for a quick update. So I am on page 385, and this book, y'all, it's so good. Nyktos just did some shit that he shouldn't have, and Sarah caught him, and I am surprised that she didn't kill someone. Yeah. So, trying to figure out, or still waiting to figure out why exactly Nyktos did these things. Honestly, I'm surprised that Sarah didn't kill someone. Just a quick update. I am at 19 hours and 20 minutes. So I've been reading for almost 5 hours. I need to read. I wish I could read faster because OMG. Okay, and then I haven't done much driving or much work around the house where I could listen to an audiobook. But I am 37 pages into Inheritance. So it's a little bit over an hour into the audiobook. And I haven't really gone anywhere. I haven't done really anything much around the house that I could be listening to an audiobook during. So that's my little reading update. I think when I checked in last, I think I was about on page 280, so I've read about 100 pages, and I'm a slow reader, so we know that took some time. Plus, the CrossFit Games started, and I've been watching them and reading at the same time, so that makes my reading even slower because I'm trying to pay attention to 2 things. But yeah, so slowly getting through, but I will check back in with another update when either I'm finished the book or when something else shocking happens. Sometimes men are so dumb. Oh my gosh. Oh man. It's complicated? Are you freaking kidding me? It's complicated. Oh, fuck off. God. Pascal. 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 Quit moving it. Baby. This child. Well, guys, we're at 10 hours left. And I finished The Light and the Flame. Ugh. Some shit just went down. Actually, a lot of shit just went down. The ending of this book. Holy cow. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. And oh my gosh. This book was so good. Oh, this book was so good. I have no words. I have no words. I have no words. Except fuck Colas and Nyktos, like, oh, Like, I don't know. Sarah has been through some shit. Sarah has been through a lot of shit. And she just keeps surviving. Oh, these books are so good. Oh, yeah, this is definitely 5 stars. Like, I don't even have words. Okay. So, we finished the first book. And it took me 14 hours, plus I've read some of Inheritance in there. Not very much. I'm on page 60. So I've only read 60 pages of this book, which is about 2 hours into the audiobook. So obviously this is going to take me a lot longer to finish. Just because I have spent a majority of my time actually reading this book. Just because I read so slow. So 10 hours left. It's already 1 p.m. and on Sunday. So I'm not going to get those 10 hours done today. So I've decided that even taking 3 days to do a 24-hour readathon, it's just not something that I can do. I tried and it just doesn't work for me. Even splitting it up into 8-hour days, I can't sit here for that long and read. It doesn't matter what I'm reading. Like, this book was amazing. This book was so freaking good. And I still could not sit here for 8 hours every day and read. I get too restless. I have too much stuff to do around the house or places, and I just don't. So I'm just gonna have to change how I do reading challenges. We're just gonna have to come up with something different that does not involve me sitting in one place for 8 hours every day reading. So maybe we'll do, like, I think for the rest of this video we'll do how long does it take me to read for 24 hours. So 10 hours left. We'll see when I can get through that timer. So it's still raining outside, and it's been raining pretty much this whole weekend, and this is like my favorite weather. I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's cold and crisp and rainy, and I still couldn't sit here and read for 8 hours straight every day. So I think we'll just continue to do the timer and see how long and what day I finish these hours, the last of the 24 hours, which it will significantly slow down because I do have to go to work. But I think we'll just have to change around how I do challenges in the future, because as much as I love watching 24-hour readathon videos on YouTube, it's too much for me. As was proven in the last one that I tried to do and this one. So we'll just have to change it around a little bit, and that's fine. So now that we've finished Light in the Flame, as much as I want to go on to the next book, which would be Soul of Ash and Blood, I think I'm going to read A False Start by Elsie Silver and kind of take a little bit of a break from these. Just to give you guys a little bit something else to look forward to. Oh, that's not even the right one. Frontrunner. It's Frontrunner. I wrote the wrong one down. Did I say False Start at the beginning of this video? Because that was wrong. It's Frontrunner, which is book 3. I'll start Frontrunner by Elsie Silver, and we'll see how far I get into that book in this video. And then anytime I do something where I can't sit down and read, I'll be picking up Inheritance and listening to the audiobook. This audiobook I think is like 30 hours long, so. Man. Okay, well, I will get started on Front Runner and check back in a little bit. So, you can't really see my face. So, Niktos has redeemed himself. I knew that there had to be an explanation for what he did, and obviously there was. So he's back in Sarah's good graces, and things are going swimmingly. So we will see how the story progresses. I have about 55 pages left before I'm done with the book, so I will check back with you in a little while. Okay, so I've started The Front Runner by Elsie Silver. I'm on page 62. So I'm on page 62 and I'm really liking this book so far. I wasn't sure how I would like the main male character since he wasn't portrayed in the best light in the other two books in the series, but I'm really liking this book so far. Only 62 pages in though. I like the banter back and forth. between Stefan Dalka and Myra Thorne, who's the vet. So I'm really enjoying that. I guess I should read the synopsis for the book since I didn't earlier. Stefan Dalka is infuriatingly handsome and annoyingly persistent. We're supposed to hate each other, but apparently he didn't get the memo because he's been asking me out for years, and I always say no. Until today. Today he has something that I desperately need. Today he is a savior and I'm his prize. Our time together starts out as a simple transaction. 3 dates. No touching, no telling anyone, and definitely no falling in love. Which, up to this point, all that stuff has already happened in the first 60 pages. But every intimate conversation and each stolen glance, the tension between us builds. The way he looks at me gives me butterflies, and when he finally touches me, we sizzle. Stefan makes me feel seen in a way no other person has before. He cherishes my words as passionately as my body. He makes me laugh. He makes me blush. He calls me kitten. No. He's not the villain he's been made out to be. And suddenly, I find myself longing for him in a way the people closest to me wouldn't approve of or understand. Giving in to Stefan Dalka is playing with fire, but with him, I don't even mind the heat. So, really liking this so far. 62 pages in. So, we've got 8 hours and 15 minutes left on the timer, so still lots of time. But at least I'm sitting down and reading, which the weather has a lot to do with that. Because I can't do any work outside, which honestly is kind of nice. Yeah, which is honestly kind of nice because I'm tired of yard work and it's been really hot outside. So the cool weather has been really refreshing. I have the windows open, which has been really nice. So I thought I'd give you guys a little different view for this little update, but I will check back in a couple of hours. And just like that, we're finally done. Okay, so it has taken me a while to get these 24 hours done. Let's wrap things up. All right, well, we're finally done with the 24 hours. And it took me a week. So I was off of work Friday through Monday, and that's when I got a bulk of the reading done, because the days that I go into work, I really don't have a lot of time to get reading done. So pretty much it's just listening to my audiobook on the drive to and from work, and then maybe when I get home reading for like an hour at the most. Just because I leave work, I go to the gym, come home, dinner, shower, you know, all that stuff. I have to take care of the garden. So by the time I do all that, it's basically bedtime. So we finally got the 24 hours done. Finished, completed. So let's do a little update on how far I got. So I started The Front Runner by Elsie Silver on, I think, Monday. So I was able to get 140 pages into this book. So I'm on chapter 12. 140 pages in, chapter 12. And I'm liking this book way more than I thought. So at the last check-in, I realized that I'm saying our main female character's name wrong. So upon reading more of this book, she is actually half Indian. from India, not Native American Indian. And her name is not pronounced Myra, it's actually pronounced Mira. So in my last update, I was saying her name wrong. So it's actually Mira. So I'm really liking this book more than I thought I would. The main male character, Stefan Dalka, I don't dislike him as much as I thought I would, based off of his character in the previous 2 books. So it's one of those things where like he has a public persona that he kind of puts on to push people away, because and partly to do with the trauma that he experienced growing up. So it's introduced pretty quickly that growing up, his supposed father, we're not actually sure that this guy was his real father. I think there might be a twist coming up later in the book about that. But his supposed father was very abusive and would hit his mother, and basically he grew up in a very volatile, domestic violence filled household. And his mother did nothing to stop that, and stayed with his father through all of this. And turns out that both of his parents were in a plane crash and they both died, like 4 years ago from when this book is taking place. So he's got a lot of trauma from that, and he kind of puts on this like bad boy persona that's not truly who he is. And so Mira is kind of digging into that and getting to know Stefan for who he actually is. And Stefan is also raising his 18 or 19-year-old sister. So she, after their parents died, she had to live with their father's sister until she turned 18. And as soon as she turned 18, Stefan had her fly out to Ruby Creek to live with him because she did not want to live with her aunt anymore. And so because of all of their childhood trauma, the sister, her name is Nadia, she's acting out and kind of rambunctious, but like deep down she's also a good person, you know, kind of a thing. So Mira has really taken a liking to his sister and they get along really well. And so basically we're following the story of Mira, who's the vet. They are right in the middle, both ranches are in the middle of fowling season. And on Gold Rush Ranch, one of the mother's horses died. And so the baby fowl only didn't have a mom. And then at Stefan's ranch, one of the babies died. And so then there was a mom without a baby. So they made a deal where they brought the fowl over to Stefan's ranch for basically this horse to adopt him and take care of him. And that went smoothly and everything. So now Mira goes over to Stefan's ranch a couple times a day to check on this fowl to make sure he's doing okay. And Stefan has really developed a strong relationship with this baby horse. We're following that story, and their relationship, you know, is developing slowly throughout her continuously going over to his ranch. I'm 140 pages in. That is 38%. So I'm 38% through this book, and so far the relationship is progressing very slowly, which is fine. I'm really enjoying this book so far. I haven't been bored. I haven't wanted like the scenes to go faster or anything, so I'm really enjoying this book so far. So I was able to read 140 pages from Monday through Thursday. Then, because I have been listening to the Inheritance audiobook, I am now on page 254. So this much through. This book is 850 something pages long, something like that. Yeah, 849 pages long. In the grand scheme of things, not very far into the book. However, listening to this audiobook, loving this audiobook. I love this narrator so much. So glad that in my reread I'm doing the audiobook just because I enjoy them so much. So in this book, we're following Aragon and Saphira, obviously, and they are still, that shadow's pretty bad. They are still fighting against the Empire and Galbatorix to try to overthrow Galbatorix, and, you know, basically unite the world of Alagasia, and to dispel Galbatorix as the ruler, because he is evil and he killed all the most of the dragons, and is very controlling and all of that. So Aragon has continued his training both in magic and like sword fighting, and this is a lot of battle scenes and following different points of view. So the main points of view we get are Aragon's, and then sometimes Nassawarda, who is the ruler of the Varden, and then we're also following Aragon's brother, Roran. We get his point of view quite often. So it's a lot of battle scenes, which is kind of what most of this book is, and then wrapping up the series and finding out the different twists, because the last dragon egg does hatch. So I'm glad that I'm listening to the audiobook, just because sometimes a lot of battle scenes can get kind of boring, you know, like everyday life. But that doesn't mean that I don't like this book. I really, really love this book, and I love the series. So glad that I got a little bit more through this, because I think the last time I checked in, I was only on page like 50 or 60. So I got about 200-ish pages of that listened to this week. And then also, I have still been reading Outlander book number 7, An Echo in the Bone. So this week I probably read 100 or 150 pages of that book. It's a really, really long book, as all of hers in that series are. So I have about 500 pages left in that book, and that's after the 100, 150 pages I read of it this week. So slowly getting through that. We are right in the middle of the Revolutionary War. From the point in this book, we're in, I think, September of 1777. So about a year prior, the Declaration of Independence was published and put out. So there was a celebration a year later of like the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. But the war's still going on. Again, we just actually got finished with a battle scene where Jamie actually got kind of hurt. And Claire is, you know, fixing everybody up, because she's, you know, a surgeon. And so she's fixing everybody up. And in this book, we get a lot of different points of view. We get Claire's point of view, Jamie's, Ian, Lord John. We also get William, who is Jamie's son. And sometimes we get Fergus, but not recently. So really 5 main points of view in this book specifically. But again, I'm liking the books. It's kind of discouraging because they're so long and they take you so long to get through. I really was hoping to finish this book in July, but I only got about 60% of the way through it in July. And so I have been kind of going back and forth, listening to the audiobook, which I borrowed from the library, and then reading the book on my Kindle. And so I did get a little bit further in that book this week, so that's nice. But I still have about 500 pages left. So we will see. It is August 8th, so we will see how far. I'm hoping I can finish that book in August, because I have 500 pages left. So it's my goal to finish it by the end of August, even though my goal was originally to finish it at the end of July, but it is what it is. And also I've been reading a lot of really big books, because the Inheritance is really big. All of the Jennifer L. Armentrout books are really big. Like they are 500 plus pages each, and I've been trying to read 3 of those a month. So I've been reading a lot of big books lately. So chugging through those. But in the future, I don't think I'm going to do any more of the 24-hour reading challenges, just because it doesn't seem to work for me. So this is the second time that I've tried it, and I have not been able to get through those 24 hours in the 3 days. It doesn't work with my schedule. I just have too much to do. And it's just too hard for me to sit down, even though for 8 hours a day, because I've split it up in the 3 days. So even for 8 hours a day, it is still too hard for me to sit in one spot and read. So from now on, I think that I'm going to do a different type of reading challenge. I'm not really sure what that looks like yet. So if you have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. Let me know if you have any kind of reading challenges that you would like to see, or that you've tried before, or that you've seen other YouTubers do that you really enjoyed. Recently, Lindsay with She's Booked and Busy posted a reading challenge where she read for 4 hours a day. And even that for me during the week isn't necessarily doable. I could count my the audiobook during my drive, but honestly, even after counting that, I'm not home and like awake for that many hours where I would be able to read even for 4 hours a day. Even if we cut it to like 2.5, 3 hours of actual like sitting down reading, that still isn't really doable for me the days that I have to go into work, just because those days I'm honestly barely home and not sleeping. So really it's the weekend that I am able to do reading challenges. So I'll have to come up with something different for the future to do kind of a challenge for me for reading. But, you know, I'm glad that I've tried the 24-hour reading challenge twice now. Even though it's not for me, you know, now I know that, you know, it's not something that I really enjoy doing it doesn't fit into my lifestyle. I'm doing way too much stuff. So, but I really enjoy watching those videos on YouTube. So unfortunately, it just doesn't work for me. So I'll just have to come up with something different. But I got a lot of reading done this week. I finished A Light in the Flame by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I got a good way into The Front Runner, a good way into Inheritance by Christopher Paolini, and then got some more read in Outlander. So overall, it's been a pretty good reading week. And I think next week I will be finally posting my July wrap-up. So be on the lookout for that video as well. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.